Perfect. All right, so we're going to start by sitting on the block. Cross your legs like crisscross, Sukhasana. And then move the sit bone all the way to the front. So it's like your bum is hanging off the block. And then let the knees hang open as much as you can. And place the hands on the thighs. And then push the tailbone down into the block. The tailbone is right at the bottom of your spine. And then lift through the crown of the head up here. And then as you lift the crown of the head, just let the knees hang open. Close the eyes. And just take a second to watch the breath. You don't have to change it in any way right here. Just watching it. Watch the inhale come and the exhale go. And then listen to the sounds around you. And try and pinpoint 5 different sounds. You don't have to engage in them in any way, just notice them. And then watch the body. Notice if there's any tension, any openings. And then we're going to turn our attention to the breath again. And this time we're going to inhale and exhale through the nose. And we're going to do it for a count of 5. So we'll be inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. And we'll do that for 1 minute. So I'll count you through the first one and then you can continue on your own count. So sitting up, lengthening through the spine. Close the mouth and inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then continue. I'll let you know when 1 minute is over. Just keep it nice and even. Easy breath in, easy breath out. We're halfway there. All right, and then return to regular breathing. Just breathe in and out. Bring your hands together to heart center in prayer. And dedicate your practice today to someone in your life who needs a little extra sunshine in their life. Just think about that person for a moment. Beautiful. And open your eyes. Today the flow is going to be a sunshine flow to give thanks for all of this sunshine while I've been in the UK. So we're going to kneel, come to a kneeling position, and we're going to come into Virasana. So Virasana is kneeling with the thighs together. You can come onto a block or a cushion under your bum. Kind of like the W. Yep. You can put and then move the thighs together. So you're going to ground down through the tailbone. Push the tailbone down into that block. No, right on the block. And then lift through the crown of the head. And if you're able to, bring the inner thighs towards each other. So those inner thighs are sutured together and it's like they become one leg. Nice. And then lift up through the crown of the head. And then take your hands to the collarbones and spread the collarbones wide. And then place the hands back on the thighs. And I'm just going to sit here for 5 counts of breath. So this seems like a really simple pose, but it's actually incredible to open the thighs, the hips. All right, and then lift the arms up, reach up through the fingertips, and then we're going to apple pick. So it's like you are reaching for the apples on the top of the trees. And then you can look up towards the top of the tree, trying to grab those top apples. And keep the tailbone pushing down into the block. Nice. And then come to center. And if this is too much for you to stay in Virasana like this, you can always go to crisscross. Okay. And then interlace the fingers. Push the hands out in front of you. And inhale, lift the arms up to the ceiling. With the palms facing up, reaching with those palms and moving the shoulder blades down the back. You're lifting with the crown of the head at the same time as the tailbone is moving down into the block to create that length. So inhale, lift the palms even higher, and then exhale over towards the right, keeping the left sit bone pushing into the block. So you've got length on both sides of the waist here. And then inhale back to center and exhale over to the left. So reach through the palms of the hands. Keep going. I had to stop. All right, keep reaching up, reach. And then come back to center, release the arms. And I think we can all come into Sukhasana now. Challenging on the feet. All right, and then grab the strap. And this time in Sukhasana, why don't we put the other leg in front? Just to get some balance. All right, so you have your strap, the left leg is in front. And you take the strap, you can take the hand behind you. So it's like a tricep stretch. So the left hand is on the top of the back and the strap is going down the back of the spine. And then take the right hand around the bottom of the spine and grab a hold of that strap. Ground down through the tailbone, lift through the crown of the head, spread the collarbones, and then walk the right hand up the strap and walk the left hand down the strap. Nice. And then move the elbows away from each other. Lift through the chin, opening up the chest. And breathe. Just go back to that equal inhale, equal exhale. And then release the arms. Place the other leg in front, so the right leg is in front now. And then take the right hand to the top of the back, so it's like a tricep. Stretch with the strap. And the strap is down the spine behind you. And then take the left arm to the bottom of the back. And take a hold of it. Just sit here for a second. Let everything open up. Push down through the tailbone, lift through the crown of the head. And then start walking the left hand up the strap and the right hand down the strap. Any amount. And then once you get to a space where this is semi-comfortable, then you can just open the elbows away from each other, moving the collarbones away from each other. We'll take 2 even breaths here. And release the straps and just shake out the arms a little bit. All right, and then we're going to come back into Virasana. So it's actually easier in this if you don't have the block or the cushion, because we're going to be going into Supta Virasana, which is reclined hero. So you can just do any amount here. Okay, so bring the feet together. And if actually the block or cushion works for you, or the bolster, that's totally fine, you can use it. I just feel like for me, for some reason, it doesn't work. All right, so ground down through the tailbone again. Reach through the crown of the head. Yeah, bring the knees towards each other, the thighs towards each other. So Feel as though those thighs, those inner thighs are suturing together. Okay, and then just reach back so your fingertips are on the ground behind you. It's just a really simple stretch to start. And you can do any amount. So if this is good for you, you can just stop there. If this feels good, you can just bend the elbows a little bit more. So you're leaning back a little bit more. And then keep bringing those thighs towards each other. Keep lifting through the crown of the head and moving the tailbone down towards the knees. And then if this feels good, you can go down to your elbows. So you're on your forearms. Very good. And keep moving the knees towards each other. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Breathe. And then if it's in your practice, you can lay all the way back down onto the ground. Not in my practice, so I'm not going to be able to show you right now. Otherwise, pull the knees towards each other. Inhale and come back to sit. And then come onto all fours and shake the legs out, shake the arms out. Very impressive, Auntie Jane.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, so we're on all fours. And then inhale, push back to downward facing dog and walk out the feet here. So bending the knees, getting some blood flowing. And then inhale, step the left foot forward, right foot forward. Hands come to the hips and stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. All right, so ground down through all four corners of the feet, pushing them down into the earth. Palms are facing forward. Lift through the crown of the head. Spread the collarbones. These bony bits at the front of the chest, spread them open. Beautiful. And then inhale the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching through the fingertips and moving the shoulder blades down the back at the same time. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. And relax the head here. So relax it all the way down so that you're looking back towards the thighs. Crown of the head is pulling down towards the ground. Inhale, hands to shins, look forward. Place the hands on the mat and step back onto your knees. And then sit back on the heels. Inhale, sit back on the heels. Exhale, chin and chest pull forward. I'm going to do 3 of these. So make it a round movement. Inhale, sit back on the heels. Exhale, chin and chest slide forward. Inhale, sit back on the heels. And just move the block out of the way. There you go. And then exhale, slide the chin and the chest forward. And now this time we're going to tuck the toes under and sit back and reach back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Breathe here for a second. Inhale, step the left foot forward, right foot forward, hands to shins. Look forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. And then hands to hips. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. And the hands come down by your side, palms facing forward. Lift through the crown of the head, lengthening that spine. And then inhale the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to shins, look forward. Hands to the mat, step back onto plank. And you can either do Chaturanga Dandasana here or the knees, chin, chest. So Chaturanga Dandasana is where the bend the elbows to come down to the mat. And then stay here on your front. And we're going to do low cobra. So your elbows are underneath the shoulders. Palms are facing down onto the floor. The forearms are pushing into the ground. And then take an inhale. And as you exhale, lift the chin and the chest. And it's like you're pushing the mat away from you. And then just move the right leg back, left leg back, creating space in that lower back. And then exhale, release the forehead to the ground. We'll do that 3 more times. So again, just pick up the right leg, move it further back, left leg further back. So it's like you're growing 2 inches. And then inhale and exhale, push up onto the forearms, lift through the chin and the chest. Take a breath, and exhale back down. One last time. Inhale and exhale, push into the hands. You're pushing into the forearms, reaching forward with the chin and the chest. Auntie Jane, just bring your elbows under your shoulders. Perfect. And then release back down. And bring the hands under the forehead, rest the forehead on the back of the hands. Bend the knees and then just windshield wiper them side to side. And release them back down to the ground. Take the hands alongside the body, palms facing up. And again, reach the right leg back, left leg back. And when we exhale this time, we're going to lift the legs, the arms, and the chest. Okay, so take a nice inhale, and then exhale, lift the thighs, the feet, the arms, the chest, and you're reaching back with the fingertips, reaching back with the feet. So those toes are trying to touch the wall behind you. Keep breathing. Move the collarbones away from each other and release. Forehead comes to the mat. Just take a second here. And again, move the right foot back, left foot back. Take an inhale and then exhale, lift chest, arms, legs. Keep reaching back with those fingertips, like they're going to touch the feet behind you. Reach back with the feet to create the space in the lower back. And release. And do that one more time. So take a moment, catch the breath. Inhale, exhale, lift everything up. Look forward towards the front of your mat. A slight back bend. Keep reaching with the fingertips and the toes. And then release. Okay, bring the hands to alongside the chest. And then again, lift the right leg up, left leg up, creating that space. I'm going to go into full cobra here. Okay, so inhale. Then we exhale, push down into the hands, straightening the arms, but not completely straightening them. Look up, chest is lifted, chin is lifted, the thighs are still on the ground. Keep reaching back with those toes. And then exhale down to the ground. I'll do that 2 more times. Again, extend through both legs. On inhale and then exhale, push through the hands, straightening the arms, but not locking the elbows. So you're up on your hands, Auntie Jane? Perfect. Nice. So the toes are tucked under, I mean, not tucked under. Yep, put the toes down, flat. Perfect. And then look up, chin and chest is looking up. And release. And one more time. So inhale and then exhale, push into the hands. This is going to be a good one. Keep reaching back with the feet, lifting the chest, lifting the chin, feeling that bending in the spine. And then release back down. And push up onto all fours, tuck the toes, and inhale back to down dog. And we're bending the knees here, walking the feet out, looking forward at the hands for a slight back bend, lifting through the hips. And then inhale the right leg right up into the air, creating length. And then exhale the right knee to the right hand for pigeon on the right. So if you have a block available, you can just place it under the right hip to create some balance there. And we're up on our fingertips. Lengthen through that back leg. So reach back through the back toes. Keep lengthening. Even when you think you are as long as you can go, keep reaching back. Up on the fingertips. Ground down through the tailbone. Feel it pulling down towards the ground. And lift through the crown of the head. And then bend that left leg. So the left knee is bent. And then reach behind you with the left hand. With the left hand to the top of the foot and push the foot into the hand. Keep reaching with the chin and the chest. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Grounding through the tailbone. Take 2 nice breaths here. And then release the left leg. Bring the hands to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet again. And Auntie Jane, just move your feet a bit closer in. A little bit more. Towards your hands. Perfect. And then lift the left leg into the air. And inhale the left knee to the left hand for pigeon on the left. And again, you can put the block or cushion under the left hip. And we're going to stay up on the fingertips so we can maintain that back bend. Reach back with the right toes. Lift through the chin and the chest. Keep reaching back even more with the right toes. And then take a nice inhale. And on the exhale, bend the right knee. And take the right hand behind you to the right foot and catch it. And then you might need to bring that left hand more into the center for balance. And push the top of the foot into the hand. Reaching with the chest, the chin. The hips are still square. Breathe easy here. And then exhale, release the leg and step back to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. And inhale, step the left foot forward, right foot forward. Hands to shins. Inhale, look forward. And release to Uttanasana, standing forward bend. So let it all hang here. Your arms, your head. You're looking back towards the thighs. And you're pushing down into the heels here. So you can lift the toes off the ground and nothing happens to the balance. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, we're going to do one more of these sun salutations. So inhale the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Reach with the fingertips. Exhale, swan dive forward. Uttanasana. Let it all hang. Take your hands to the shins. Inhale, chin and chest, pull forward. Hands to the mat and come to all fours. And then the forearms are going to come to the mat. So the inside of the wrist is pushing down. The fingers are spread. Elbows are directly under the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. And then we're going to inhale, lift the hips for dolphin pose. So you can have the knees bent here, or you can straighten them, whichever feels good for you. But keep the hips lifted. So it's like down dog, but on your forearms. You can look forward to the hands to create the back bend. And keep reaching back and up with the hips. And you can probably feel it in the triceps here and the shoulders, because we don't usually use triceps that much in everyday life. So when we do use them, they tend to scream at us. Keep breathing, nice even breath. We'll stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. Creating energy, celebrating that sunshine. And then exhale, take the knees to the mat and push back into downward facing dog. Look forward at the hands, lift through the hips. And then inhale, step the right foot forward, ground the back foot and come to stand. Then you're gonna need a block at its highest or medium height outside the right foot. Perfect. So your feet are about 3.5 feet wide here. And there's a line between from the front heel to the back heel. And the back foot is in about 15 degrees. Okay, so just look back at the back heel. And Sophie, the toes are pointing towards me, the back toes. Perfect. All right, and then look back at that back heel and just make sure it's pushed down into the ground. So the outside of that back heel is pushed into the ground. And Jane, just move your left foot over towards the right a little bit. Perfect. All right, lift up through the crown of the head. Feel the tailbone pulling down towards the ground. And then you're going to move the hips so they're pointing towards the front of the room. And then exhale, take the right hand to the block. And the hand is directly under the shoulder. The front and the back legs are still long, still reaching down through that back heel. And with your left hand on the left hip, just turn it so it's pointing down towards the ground. But as you do that, make sure that that back heel is still grounded, it's rooting into the ground. And then take the left hand to the right collarbone and swipe across the chest to open up the chest, reaching up with the fingertips and look up at the sky or the ceiling. Keep reaching with the fingertips. And the weight of this pose is in the legs, in the back heel. So this front hand that's on the block is there for balance. So you should be able to just kind of like move it around there. It's not, you're not sinking into it. Nice. Keep reaching, keep looking up if you can. Beautiful. And then take the left hand to the left hip, bend the right knee and come to stand. Parallel the feet and just wiggle them out a little bit wider so that when you take the hands out to the side, the feet are underneath the hands. All right. And then take the hands behind you and interlace the fingers. Lift through the crown of the head. Pull that tailbone down towards the ground. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Pushing down into the heels. The arms are going to come up behind you. And keep pulling those arms forward towards the head. And release the head down to the ground so you're looking through the thighs. And breathe here. Nice, equal breathing. You can lift up the toes a little bit. So you know that you're pushing through the heels. And if your shoulders start to feel like they're loosening up a bit, you can just move them a little bit more into the pose. And release the hands. Take the hands to the hips. Bend the knees slightly and come up to stand. And then just breathe here for a second to get your let your head acclimate again. And then take the hands behind you again, but with a weird finger on top. So you always have the fingers in the same way. This time do it the other way. Okay. Straighten the legs, ground through the heel, reach through the crown of the head. The collarbones are moving away from each other in the front of the chest. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips with a nice long spine. Keep reaching with the crown of the head. And then exhale, round the spine, drop the head and look through the thighs. And again, just keep playing around with the arms, with the shoulders. You know, one side might feel more open than the other. One side might feel significantly difficult, but it's all good. It's just getting to know the body, your body. And release the hands, take the hands to the hips, bend the knees and come to stand. And then grab that block and place it at the other side of the mat and on the outside of the left foot. And turn the right toes in 15 degrees, left toes out 90 degrees. So you're facing the other end of the mat. And so if you just step this foot out towards me a little bit more. Yeah, just step it out so that it's like that much of a difference. Perfect. And mom, just move your toes in slightly. Perfect. Okay, now ground down through the outside of the back heel. So when you do that, you can just look back and see how the arch of the foot lifts. Okay, so that is the pose, keeping that outer back heel grounded and pushed down. Okay, so lift up through the crown of the head. Feel the tailbone pulling down so you get that length in the spine. And then turn the hips so that they're pointing towards the front of the mat. And then take the left hand to the block. And that the hand is directly under the shoulder. So if you need to move it back a little bit, that's okay. And then turn the right hip so that it's pointing down towards the ground. You're still maintaining the contact with the outside of the back heel. Okay, and remember that the strength of this pose is in the legs. So when you're on the block, it's just there for balance. And take the right hand to the left collarbone and swipe the chest open, reaching up with the fingers to the sky, looking up. So there's a straight line between the right hand, through the right arm, right shoulder, across the back of the body, to the left shoulder, left arm, left hand block. It's a nice straight line. And the palm is facing away from you. In the other way, Mum. There you go, perfect. And look up towards the ceiling, the sky. And feel the energy that this pose creates. And then take the right hand to the right hip, bend the left knee and come up to stand. And you can heel toe the feet together or jump the feet together. And come to stand at the top of the mat in Tadasana with the feet together, thighs together. I know. Lift up through the crown of the head, palms are facing forward. Push down through the heels. And then inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. So you're reaching back with the hips. It's like you're going to sit on a chair and reaching forward with the fingertips. But the shoulder blades are moving down the back. And then bring the hands together at a heart center. And exhale, take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And keep reaching, press the hands into each other, move the elbows away from each other to help you turn into this twist. Keep sitting back in the hips, so don't allow the hips to come up. Breathe here. And inhale back to Utkatasana. Reach with the fingertips. And then bring the hands together at heart center. Inhale and exhale. The left elbow to the right knee, the outside of the right knee. And then using the hands and the elbows, turn into the twist a little bit more. So you're moving the elbows away from each other, widening the collarbones, sit back in the hips, ground down through the heels, and inhale back to chair pose. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, pull the chin and chest forward. Then hands to the mat, step back into plank pose, Chaturanga Dandasana, or bum, chin, chest. Beautiful. And then inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. And you can pedal out the feet here, looking forward at the hands. So create a nice back bend. That's nice. And just step your feet towards the towel a little bit more, Auntie Jane. That's it. Lift the hips. Look forward at the hands. Beautiful. Okay, and then straighten the legs. Inhale the right leg up into the air. Step it forward between the hands and bring the left knee down to the ground. And if you want to use a cushion here for the left knee, you're welcome to. And walk the right foot forward just a little bit more. So you can really create some nice length in that right side. So first of all, the hands come to the thigh, the right thigh. I'm just gonna exhale into that 90-degree angle on the right side. So lift through the crown of the head, tailbone roots down. Breathe here for a second. And then the right hand comes to the inside of the right foot. You can be up on a block, you can be on your fingertips or flat on the ground, whichever works for you. And then inhale the left arm up, reaching up, looking up towards the hand, but still pushing forward into that right knee. So the right knee is still at 90 degrees. So you can still feel the lengthening of the left hip flexor. Breathe here for a second. Feel the widening, the broadening of the collarbones. And then bring the hands back down and inhale, push back to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet for a second. And then inhale the left leg into the air and step it forward between the hands. Right knee comes down to the mat. And then walk the left foot forward so you have enough space. You really want to create the length in the right hip flexor. Okay, so push down into the left foot for grounding, where the torso is over the pelvis right now. You're lifting up through the crown of the head and the tailbone is pulling down, so you can create that length in the spine. And then take the left hand to inside the left foot. And inhale the right arm up, reaching up towards the sky, looking up towards the hand, and still pushing forward into that left knee. Stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. And then exhale, hands to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward, right foot forward. Hands to shins, look forward. And exhale, Uttanasana. Let the head go completely. Pushing down into the heels. And inhale, Tadasana. Bring the feet together, thighs together. Feet together, feet touching, perfect. And palms facing forward. What? Okay, inhale, sit back in chair pose, Utkatasana. Reach with the fingertips, reach back with the hips. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Let everything go. Push down through the heels. Inhale, hands to shins, look forward. Hands to the mat, step back to plank. And then you can either do bum chin chest or Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Just breathe here for a second. This is the resting pose, so take advantage. Inhale the right leg into the air, step it forward between the hands, ground the back foot and come to stand. And then step the left foot over to the left slightly so that you have your own lane for each leg. And then turn the left toes so that they're 45 degrees. All right. Lift up through the crown of the head, ground down through the tailbone. Take the hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. And then exhale, move the hands down the back of the leg towards the knee, opening up the chest, lifting the chin, collarbones moving away from each other for reverse warrior. Breathe for a sec. Okay, and release the hands. Bring your hands together at heart center. Now we're going to lift, straighten the front leg at the same time as we lift the back leg for warrior 3. Okay, so straighten the front leg, lift the back leg. The hips are both pointing down. Reach back through that back heel Reach forward through the crown of the head. Press the hands into each other to maintain balance. It doesn't really matter how high you get your foot. It's about extending the heel back and keeping the hips squared. Push down into the standing heel. We'll stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. You're looking forward towards the front of the mat. And on the next inhale, take the left foot back down for warrior one. Beautiful. And then exhale the hands to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Pedal out the knees here, pedal out the feet. Turn off the brain. Just be here, right here in this pose right now. Doesn't matter what's happening elsewhere. Just commit to being right here. And inhale the left leg into the air. And step it forward between the hands, ground to the back heel. Again, step the right foot over to the right. And turn the right foot so it's pointing 45 degrees towards the front of the mat. And then push down into the back outer heel. Take the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers with the weird finger on top. And then exhale, move the hands down the back leg towards the knee. Opening the chest. Looking up, chin and chest are lifted. Equal breaths. You don't have to do it for the 5 seconds. Maybe you can count 3 seconds, inhale, 3 seconds, exhale. And then bring the hands together at heart center. And again, we're going to lift, straighten the front leg at the same time as we lift the back leg for warrior three. So bend the front leg and then straighten it, lift the back leg, square off the hips, extend through the back heel. Collarbones are spread, reaching forward with the crown of the head. And the belly button is pulling in towards the spine, because you need that core activation for the balance. Push down through the standing left heel, the standing heel. 2 more rounds of breath. And if you wobble, it's totally fine. It's all part of this pose. And then inhale, take the right leg down to the mat behind you for warrior one. And then exhale the hands to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot forward, left foot forward. Hands to shins, chin and chest look forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Let it all hang out. And then hands to hips. Well, actually, no, sorry. I'm going to inhale and sit back in chair pose. Reach with the fingers. And exhale, Tadasana. All right, and then we're going to come to the mat. How you guys doing? All right, so we're going to come onto our front. And grab some water. It's hot here, Terry. All right, so we're going to be on our belly. All right, so right forearm is just in front of the chest. Bend the right leg. Nice. And then inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to swing that left arm behind to catch the right foot for half bow pose. And then push the foot, top of the foot into the hand. Push down into the forearm to lift the chest. So the thigh is lifting off the ground. Chest is lifted. Feel the collarbones moving away from each other. Tailbone is moving down towards the back of the knee. And release. And then bring the left forearm in front. And bend the left knee. Inhale and exhale. Take the right hand behind to catch the inside of the left foot. So the hand is on the arch of the left foot. And then push the foot into the hand. Push down with the forearm, lift the chest. Breathe. Move the tailbone down to create more space in the lower back. And then release. Bring the forehead to the backs of the hands on the mat. Bend the knees and just windshield. Wipe them left to right a few times. Okay, and then take the legs back down to the mat. And extend the right leg behind you. Extend the left leg behind you. And then one more time on the right, even more. One more time on the left, even more. So you got lots of space in that lower back area. Okay, and then bend both knees. And we're going to be doing full bow pose. And we want to try to keep the knees as close together as possible. They're probably not going to be touching. We just don't want them like swaying all the way out to the side. Okay, so imagine that you have a block in between your thighs that you're trying to keep together. Okay, so inhale, then exhale, take the left hand to catch the left foot. Inhale, and then exhale, take the right hand to the right foot. And then just pause, move the thighs and the knees back together. And just pause here for a second. Take a nice inhale, and then as you exhale, push the feet into the hands. Lift the chin and the chest. Keep reaching behind you. Crown of the head is pulling forward. The chest is expanding and lifting. Nice equal breaths. And release. Beautiful. And push to come onto your knees. Whew. All right, so there's a few ways to do. We're going to be doing camel pose. There's a few ways to do this. You can have your feet, you can have your toes like this, or you can have the toes flexed. Easier to flex them, so whatever you'd like to do. All right, so ground down through the tailbone. Lift through the crown of the head. Spread the collarbones. And first we're going to do a half camel. So inhale the left arm up and exhale it to the block or the heel behind you. Then push forward into the hips. Lift the chest. Collarbones are moving away from each other. Tailbone is moving down. And then inhale, move the knees towards each other and come back to sit. Come back to the center. Okay, again, lift through the crown of the head. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, take it behind to the right heel. And push the hips forward. Ground the tailbone. Chest is lifted. Chin is lifted slightly. And then inhale, move the knees together and come back to center. And now if you feel able, then we're going to do on both sides. We're going to full camel. So ground down through the tailbone. Feel it pulling down towards the knees. At the same time as the crown of the head lifts up, collarbones are spreading. And we're going to inhale the left arm up, exhale it back. Inhale the right arm up and exhale it back to the heel. And then push forward with the hips, lifting with the chest, lifting with the chin. Knees are moving towards each other. Equal breath work here. And then inhale, move the knees towards each other and come back to the center. Okay, and then come onto all fours. And this is where we're going to be using the cushions or the, whatever you have, the towels. We're going to be doing frog pose. It's one of my favorite poses. It's challenging, but it's incredible for hip opener, the inner thighs. All right. So knees are under the hips, hands are under the shoulders, just like regular all fours. And then we're just going to widen the knees out to the side. So the cushions help those knees to slide. So the ankles are in line with the knees still. So just widen your feet a little bit, Terry. Perfect. And then the inside of the foot is going to be touching the ground and the toes are going to be pointing away from you. Yep. And then turn the feet so the arch of the foot is touching the ground and the toes are pointing away from you. Perfect. That's great. Okay, just stay here for a second and then exhale, widen the knees a little bit more. And then one more time, if it feels comfortable, you can widen those knees just a little bit more. And take the feet with you so that your feet are always in line with your knees. So you really, if you look back, you really do look like a frog. All right, and then exhale, take the forearms to the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine, reach the crown of the head forward and the tailbone back. Engage the core, pull that belly button towards the spine. And then exhale, draw the hips back and down. So it can be such a tiny little movement, but it makes all the difference. And if this starts to feel really, really intense, just bring your attention back to the breath. Counting the breath for 3 seconds in and 3 seconds out. I'm going to stay here for 1 minute. So just relax as much as you can, relax into it. Focus on the breath. Keep moving those hips back. The hips want to come forward because that makes it easier. And like I said, this is such a great pose for runners because it stretches the hips and the groin, the inner thighs, and it also helps digestion. And it helps when you're constipated, which is good. Okay, we've got 10 more seconds. So just once again, just move your hips back even half an inch. All right, and come onto the palms of the hands again. Walk the hands back towards the hips. Bring the feet together and then lift the knees to bring them to the center. And then we're going to come to lay on the back and just have both blocks close by. Or you can use cushions actually. So we're going to lay on the back with knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And then take the right ankle to the left knee. Arms are out to the side. And then lift the hips and move them over to the right about 1 inch. Huh? I'll tell you in a minute. And then exhale the legs over towards the left. So the foot is pushing into the ground. The right foot is pushing into the ground. And look over to the right side. And neutralizing the spine here after a lot of back bends. Breathe. And then inhale, move the hips back to center. Take the right foot down to the ground, take the left ankle to the right knee. And then again, lift the hips and move them to the left about 1 inch. Exhale the legs over towards the right. The left foot is pushing into the ground. And look over towards the left hand. And then inhale the knees to center. Take the left foot down to the ground, bring the knees together and move the feet all the way to the edge of the mat for constructive rest. Hands come to the belly. Just watch the breath here. Watch the belly rise and fall. And then lift the knees just enough so that you can slide the hands along the thighs to the kneecaps. And then let the feet dangle. So the weight of the feet are pulling the knees away from you and neutralizing the sacrum. And then take the feet to the ground and open the knees to the side, bring the soles of the feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. And this is where you're going to put the blocks or cushions underneath the thigh, each thigh. You're going to angle it so that there's some support for the hips and the knees. And then just hands to come to your belly. Close the eyes. Just watch the body here. Watch the breath. Keep your eyes closed if you can. And then feel the back of the body falling away down into the mat. Feel the brain turning off. As much as you can, just keep your attention to here, no matter what's going to happen in your day. For the next 20 seconds, just focus on the breath, the body, the sounds around you. Okay, take a breath and then move the knees back towards each other. Let the blocks fall away. And then inhale the knees to the chest. And just rock side to side. And then inhale, windmill the right arm up and overhead. And roll over onto the right side. Just use your head as a cushion, or your, arm as a cushion for your pillow. Oh my God. And your arm as a cushion for your head. And then press the left hand into the ground and come to sit in any comfortable seated position. Bring your hands together, heart center. And just take a second to think about the person that you dedicated your practice to today. Just imagine them in your mind, in your heart, and send out some sunshine, love to that person. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. Namaste. Namaste means the light in me sees the light in you.